Coffee with the Editor is proudly brought to you by IRZ.
Shlomo, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Pleasure.
IRZ is the sponsor of Coffee with the Editor and has been, I think, since February or March.
Yeah.
So firstly, thank you very much. But I thought now would be a good time, since you're here in South Africa, to tell me a little bit more about IRZ, especially for our readers.
It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for your time. IRZ. So IRZ is quite an old company in a sense. They've been around for over 60 years. Their core competency really is radio and communication, and signaling is basically a form of communication. So just over 20 years ago, IRZ Lokomotiv, which is the company really sponsoring Coffee with the Editor and this stand, went out to market. Very, very successful company within the CIS countries. So if you take, for example, the ATP systems, which you can see on the stand over there, so the onboard train protection system, IRZ in Russia have nearly 100% of passenger locomotives using the system. And within the freight, it's over 85% of freight locomotives use this onboard train protection system. It's been bulletproof for over 20 years, so we pride ourselves based on actual field time, not scientific calculation. A mean time between failure of over 100,000 hours. So for those that don't want to calculate, that is over 11 years of operation. The system is very popular in the CIS countries. IRZ do many other products for the railways, trackside, wayside systems. We have a CBM, so condition-based monitoring system that we do. We do in-cab radios. So many different products, but whatever you need for signaling and telecom, we could help. And approximately 2.5 years ago, the owner of the company, so IRZ is a private company with over 95% controlled by one person, 100% controlled by one person, but it's owned more than 95% by an individual, Leonid Alexandrovich Rogozin. He came to me and said, okay, we need to start, when you have a very high market share, as they do in the CIS countries, every owner of a company wants to continue growing the company, and they asked for our help to branch out to international markets, and here we are in Africa.
And how are you finding the African market? I mean, is it...
Yeah, it's very buoyant, it's very interesting. Different countries operate in different ways, different rail authorities are very different, but I think there's definitely a need for infrastructure in Africa. What I see reading the news, and obviously your magazine, they've been quite devastating accidents at level crossings, and so there seems to be a big need and also a big drive in many countries. I probably could list a half a dozen rail authorities that have been talking to us about we need level crossing, automated level crossing.
So you're giving a presentation on level crossings later today.
Yeah.
Some interesting statistics you had in there.
Yeah, so the statistics are very, very interesting. I tried to compare Africa with other continents. It was a bit of a challenge because data is available for South Africa, but the other rail authorities are not so forthcoming with information. It's just not available. So I compared basically South Africa with Europe, with the USA, and with Russia. just to see. I mean, I basically broke it down to accidents, injuries, and fatalities per 1,000 kilometer of track. And the interesting thing up there is that South Africa leads the way when it comes to injuries.
And fatalities.
Fatalities are tied with the US for number one. The way I see it, I mean, obviously there's the lives that are being taken of people, but not only that, and one of the things I will point out in the presentation is that the rail authorities really need to look into the cost of cleanups.
You have I've had a head start and I've seen the presentation, but you've got a very interesting calculation in your presentation which takes the cost of a level crossing incident. So aside from loss of life, it's the material damage. It's damage to the track, it's damage to the rolling stock.
So I looked at one particular accident that took place in Zimbabwe. Over there, the cost, the cleanup itself, the cost was $4 million, over $4 million US. Now, if you take that, and I'm not talking about cost of a level crossing, because obviously different companies have different prices, but for that kind of money, in my calculation, regardless of where you purchase your automated level crossing from, you could probably get at least 15 level crossings, automated level crossings, for that kind of money. And that calculation of $4 million does not include the opportunities lost by the railway being closed down. So that particular accident I looked at, the north-south corridor, both rail and road, were closed between 3 to 9 days. And of course there's minerals coming down from the copper belt that couldn't get through. And I don't know the cost to the road hauliers or the rail hauliers, the copper traders, the mines that they lost, but I'm sure they lost a lot of money when your main route from the copper belt to the port. And that money of course is gone. And my message for this afternoon is basically, instead of spending the $4 million plus after the fact cleaning up, and horribly so in many accidents, killing some people on the way, why not invest that same money to prevent accidents in level crossing? So that's the message I'm trying to get across. And of course, IRZ, we have our own automated level crossing solution, which is quite a generic solution. It's very nice, so you can have it in a very basic level. So we've just pushing this in one African country that they want to have it manually controlled. So they have a person, operator, sitting at every level crossing, and they get a message from the control room that you need to shut this level crossing, and then they press a button and the barriers go down. All the way from a simple solution like that to a fully automated solution using track circuits, axle counters, or wireless train detection with video cameras that will do obstacle detection and analysis for you to make sure that even if someone's stuck on the road, you can notify via the control rooms
and stop the train.
And stop the train, because yes, not great stopping the train. It does cost money. If you've got a 36 car wagon rake, stopping that takes a lot of energy, and restarting that costs diesel. But it's certainly cheaper than the $4 million that it would take to clean. And I'm not even mentioning the lives that it might not cost. So our system is very comprehensive, but really my message here is, of course, I want to promote IRZ product, but any loss of life, in my opinion, is painful. And particularly there where we could prevent it. If you look at the numbers in Europe, so Europe has more automated level crossings than anywhere else in the world. So 60,000 automated level crossings, and that's over. Europe has just over 200,000 kilometers of track. One of their conclusions of the EU's researchers is automated rather than passive. And of course, if budgets are available, then underpasses and overpasses, of course, are even better than automated. So where you can do that and it is affordable, overpass, underpass is the best way. And yeah.
No level crossing for you and your business,
No,
but it is the safest.
No, but it's the safest way.
Yeah.
And it's also for the rail users and the road users. It's in long term, it's the cheapest way.
Yes.
Yes, an overpass, underpass costs a lot of money, but every time there's an accident,
It also costs money.
it costs money and it costs lives. And how do you quantify a life?